Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Mukku. Today we are going to discuss the above New START Treaty. What is the New START Treaty? When it has been started? What is the importance of this treaty? Why Russia has cancelled it? In this video, we are going to discuss the above points. Introduction. Background and context of the New START Treaty. The introduction should briefly explain the background and context of the New START Treaty, including the historical context of US-Russia nuclear arms control efforts and the events leading up to the signing of the treaty. Importance of nuclear arms control and disarmament. The introduction should also explain why nuclear arms control and disarmament are important for global security and stability and provide some statistics or evidence to illustrate the severity of the nuclear threat. 2 Key provisions of the New START Treaty. Limits on deployed nuclear warheads and strategic delivery systems. This section should provide a more detailed explanation of the specific provisions of the New START Treaty, such as the limits on the number of deployed nuclear warheads, intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, launchers, submarine-launched ballistic missile, SLBM, launchers, and heavy bombers equipped for nuclear armaments. It could also explain how these limits compare to previous arms control treaties. Monitoring and verification mechanisms. This section should explain how the New START Treaty provides for monitoring and verification of the agreed-upon limits, including inspections, notifications, and data exchanges. It could also explain how these mechanisms help ensure compliance with the treaty and build confidence between the two countries. Duration and potential for extension. This section should explain the duration of the New START Treaty, which is set to expire in 2026 unless extended by mutual agreement of the two countries. It could also explain the potential benefits and challenges of extending the treaty. 3 Impacts and significance of the New START Treaty. Contributions to global nuclear security and stability. This section should explain how the New START Treaty contributes to global nuclear security and stability by reducing the risk of accidental or intentional nuclear war, enhancing transparency and predictability, and promoting cooperation between the two countries. Importance of US-Russia nuclear arms control. This section should explain why US-Russia nuclear arms control is particularly important, given the history of tensions and competition between the two countries, as well as their status as the two largest nuclear powers. Implications for future disarmament efforts. This section should explore the potential implications of the New START Treaty for future nuclear disarmament efforts, including the potential for multilateral disarmament and the challenges posed by emerging nuclear powers. 4 Criticisms and challenges to the New START Treaty. Criticisms of treaty provisions and verification mechanisms. This section should examine some of the criticisms of the New START Treaty, including concerns about the limits on non-deployed nuclear warheads and the adequacy of the verification mechanisms. Concerns over US-Russia relations and political dynamics. This section should explore how political dynamics and tensions between the two countries could impact the implementation and extension of the New START Treaty. Alternative approaches to nuclear arms control and disarmament. This section could explore some alternative approaches to nuclear arms control and disarmament, such as focusing on regional disarmament efforts, strengthening non-proliferation efforts, or promoting disarmament through a bottom-up approach. Why Russia has cancelled it? Moscow. Russian President Vladimir Putin declared Tuesday that Moscow was suspending its participation in the New START Treaty, the last remaining nuclear arms control pact with the United States, sharply upping the amid tensions with Washington over the fighting in Ukraine. Speaking in his State of the Nation address, Putin also said that Russia should stand ready to resume nuclear weapons tests if the US does so, a move that would end a global ban on nuclear weapons tests in place since Cold War times. How do nuclear bombs cause destruction? Nuclear bombs cause destruction through a process known as a nuclear explosion or detonation, which involves the rapid release of an enormous amount of energy. This energy is generated by a chain reaction of nuclear fission or fusion, in which atomic nuclei are split or merged together, releasing large amounts of energy. When a nuclear bomb detonates, it creates an intense blast wave of high-pressure air, which can demolish buildings, infrastructure, and other objects in its path. The blast wave can cause extensive damage over a wide area, depending on the size and yield of the bomb. In addition to the blast wave, a nuclear explosion also generates intense heat and radiation. The heat can ignite fires, causing additional damage and spreading the destruction further. The radiation can cause short-term and long-term health effects, such as burns, radiation sickness, and an increased risk of cancer. The destructive power of a nuclear bomb is typically measured in terms of its explosive yield, which is the amount of energy released by the explosion. The most powerful nuclear bomb ever detonated, the Soviet Union's Tsar bomb, had an explosive yield of 50 megatons of TNT, which is equivalent to 50 million tons of TNT. Due to the catastrophic effects of nuclear bombs, efforts have been made to prevent their use through arms control treaties, disarmament initiatives, and international cooperation. Conclusion and future prospects. A. Summary of key points and takeaways. This section should provide a summary of the key points and takeaways from the essay or presentation, highlighting the most important aspects of the New START Treaty and its significance for global nuclear security. B. Reflections on the future of nuclear arms control and disarmament. This section should provide some reflections on the future of nuclear arms control and disarmament, including the potential for continued US-Russia cooperation, the need for multilateral disarmament efforts, and the role of civil society in promoting nuclear disarmament. C. Call to action and recommendations for policymakers and civil society. Thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe, share, like and comment.